We are starting with the first chapter, okay, of the stats, okay, that is statistical description of data. First thing, statistical means statistics. Right now, let us understand what is statistics. The definition given in the core book, that is the module, definitions they have given, what I recollect. One is in the singular sense and one is plural sense. Okay, so basically they have said that statistics means data. Okay, stats means what? Stats means data, and they are giving us two definitions. They are saying that they are giving us two definitions, one is singular, one is plural. Data, they say, can be qualitative as well as what? Quantitative. Right? Qualitative means quality. The another name for quality, what they have used is attribute. You might have read this. Correct. Quantitative means numbers. Okay. Quantitative can be further classified into discrete and continuous. Right? Discrete means what? When certain variable, it jumps with a definite interval in the sense, like it can't take the decimals. The easiest way to understand, when the numbers can't, means I'll give you example, but when the numbers can't take the decimal values, okay, whatever you are talking about, it can't take the decimal values, it is called discrete. Number of students, I can't say 3.6, either it will be 3 or it will be 4, the best example. Number of rooms, either it will be 2, either it will be 3. Understood? Number of, I recollect, number of misprints in the book is in the core book, that is the not core book, module, what they have given, CA Foundation. Misprint, okay, the number of misprint in a book, it will be 3, it will be 4, it will be 5, it will be 50, it will be 51, it can't be 50.5. Understood? So that is, which takes a definite number now, that is all the natural numbers, or we can say whole numbers, is what? Is discrete. But if I talk about a height of a person, height, a person sleeps at night 3 feet, directly wakes up in the morning 4 feet, it doesn't go like that now. There's a continuous change. Weight of a person, continuous change. We are into commerce. If I want to talk in the commercial terms, sale of a company, it does not directly jump, right? Profit of a company does not directly jump. So it can take any decimal values, as easy as that to remember, is continuous, which can take the decimal values. The variable which can take the decimal values are continuous. The variable which will jump 2, 3, 4, 5 like this. Understood? It is what? It is discrete. Okay. Data can be, means data can be time series data, different names. Time series data, first part. Time series, the other name they have used is temporal. Correct now? Time series data means what? The time is given. Correct now? Like we can say number of students appeared in CA final exam. Number of students appeared in CA final. I am giving you the example. Number of students appeared for the CA final exam in last 20 years. Every year I will write 2001 this, 2002 this much, this many students, 2003 this many students. That is what? Time series data, where time is mentioned. Okay. Another name for this was, I think, chronological. Okay. Time series, temporal, chronological, everything means the same. They can ask you any of this term, okay, a question in any of this term, it will be in the MCQs. Correct? First, okay, I said this is types of data. So there are 4 types of data. The first one is time series, when time is given, this year this much, this year this much, like that. Here is mentioned. Correct now? Another example, how much is the production in a factory between 2005 to 2010? What is the population of India between 2005 and 2010? Means 2005 it was this much, 2006 it was this much. That is known as what? Time series data. commercial application, like I am covering the 2 points simultaneously. They have said the application of statistics is also the question. In that they say, means I am diverting. One is economics. Okay, so population was an example of what? Economics. Means data can be used in economics. Statistics ka application can be in economics. Understood? In the subject I gave you the example of sales, that means it can be applied in commerce. Understood? So simultaneously you should link. Coming back to my point, this is application, later I will discuss, but coming back to my point, whenever time is given, at that time, whenever time is given, okay, in this year this much was this thing, in this year this much was this thing, that is known as time series, or it is called temporal, means one and the same, or it is called chronological. 2005, 2006, 2007. Commercial application I was talking about. We are finance students, right? So I can say the stock market, okay, was in 2005 Nifty was this much, in 2006 it went to this much. Means I am giving you the data every year. The what was the Nifty in 2010 it rose to this much. In 2022 it rose here, means to this point, means this is the Nifty points, like that. Okay, or BSC, whatever it may be. So this is a commercial application. Okay, so coming back, types of data. Okay, how many types of data we have? We have, first one is time series, temporal or chronological, correct? Second type of data what you will have is geographical. Okay, when I say geographical, means data are arranged geography wise, region wise. Understood? How many of these students, okay, appeared for CA final in 2005, only 2005, understood, in different states of India, So what I am taking into consideration here, in different states, means geography. Understood? Geographical data, don't mind my spellings, okay, please. Geographical data can also be called as spatial data, okay, spatial data. Data arranged region wise is known as what? Geographical data. I give you the example. In 2005, across the India, from which state, what was the number of the students? Okay. Third type of data, time series done, geographical done. Third time is qualitative, or I will say ordinal. Qualitative, or I will say ordinal. The another name is ordinal data. Qualitative or ordinal data. Okay. Means qualitative means what? Attribute, as I said. So when the data is classified according to the attributes, means the data is classified according to the attributes. This many males are there, this many females are there, women's, in that form. This many people have a smoking habit, this many people have a reading habit. According to the habits, according to the quality, when we classify the data, that is known as qualitative or ordinal data. The last one is what? Quantitative, which we already discussed. Quantitative, okay, quantitative data. Fine, quantitative data. So quantitative data means numbers. The another name is cardinal, that is ordinal. This is cardinal numbers, we know that. So whenever the data is classified in respect to the variables, let's say height, profit, salary, sales, and all those things, numbers are there. It is called what? Quantitative data or cardinal data. Understood? Cardinal data. Okay, 4 types we have done: time series, geographical, qualitative, and quantitative. Okay. Okay. So coming back, see what we have learned. Statistics is data, qualitative and quantitative. As I said, there is 2 definitions. One is singular, one is plural. Plural definition says, I purposely stopped. The plural definition says this, means data it can't be only quantity. Means if I tell you that 50, what is 50? If I say like this, 50 male, that means you understand that 50 males are there. Means quality is also necessary. That is one definition. Okay, that is called plural. Plural means 2 things. Quality is also, attribute is also necessary, quantitative is also necessary. This is what? Plural. This is what? Plural. Right? Singular form, singular, what is the definition? The singular form. It is said that it's a science of counting, okay, or science of averages. Right? Statistics is a singular noun, refers to the subject of study. Means we are referring the subject of the study, that is singular. Okay, it's a science of averages. What we are calculating? Average. We are calculating the average. We want to get nearby something. When we calculate the mean of any number, because we have done with the statistics, we should know. When we try to calculate the mean is what? Representative of all the numbers in the data. Correct? So we are trying to go near to that. Okay, we don't want exact this thing, exact figures and all. Means we are trying to calculate what is the average height of the people in India. We don't want the exact mean and all. Okay, so it is a science of averages, it is said. We want to get just nearby the population mean. Population mean, mu is what? Population mean. Okay, so I want to get near to that. That is singular definition. Statistics is a science of averages. Statistics is a science of counting. We are counting the numbers. So two definitions done, types of data done, right? Coming back here, I said that where can the statistics be applied? I gave you the example. One is economics, another one is commerce. Okay, third one is business management. Can we apply statistics? Yes, in statistics you can apply business management, right? You can. Okay, and the fourth application is what? So these are the three things. Okay, and the fourth one you can combine it with business management, or you can say industry. Okay, so 3 points or 4 points, these are the 4 things where it is applied. When you are studying about certain industry, at that time you will use statistics. So 4 applications. Okay, there will be a question on this. Data can be, what is the sources of the data? Sources of the data is primary or secondary. Right now, primary is the first hand information. Secondary is what? Someone else has done the research, someone else has studied the data, you're just taking it. Journals, magazines, those are secondary data. Primary is first hand information. Okay, I hope you know all these things. I'm not digging into it. So anyways, when we will do question, we will get into all these things. Okay, the data can be presented in textual form, very core form, the crude form they call, the word is used, the crude form. Crude means the raw form of presenting the data is textual form, correct? That is the one of the ways, okay, to present the data, textual form. Okay, from textual what we do? From textual we do the presentation, tables, no, tabulation, tables, correct? And then what we do? Diagrams, the third one, diagrammatic, okay, diagrammatic presentation, diagrammatic histogram, pie diagram and all those things. Okay, we will see questions on that. Fine. So these are the presentation, how it can be presented: textual, tabulation, diagrammatic. 3 ways to present the data, correct? Which is the boring form, they will ask. Textual is the boring form. You will not be able to understand the hidden data. But when you make the table now, instantly whatever is not given in the text form now, that pops up. Okay, what I mean to say, I'll tell you. Listen, if let's say there are coffee people, then people who drink tea, male, female, understood? We know the total number in department A, in department B, something like this. We know this figure, it is given in textual form. We know this figure, we know this figure, then obviously this balancing figure can be found out now. That can be found out where? In this table. They will ask a question on this, where the hidden data explicitly it opens up. Okay, where you can understand, means where it opens up, means where you can find the hidden data, in which form? It is in the tabulation form. And to make it beautiful, we use what? Diagrammatic form, pie diagram and all. What is easy to understand, where the interpretation will be easy to understand? Diagrammatic. In diagram it becomes very, means when I make a diagram now, and when I make this angle something like this, instantly you come to know, acha, this is the major portion of the, this has the major proportion, whatever it is. Like let's say it is agriculture production of rice is more than all other production. Instantly you come to know in picture. Here in table we get the hidden data. Here we come to know, it is easy to understand, that is what they say. If I want to classify the data, okay, classify the data, what type of data we will get? First is individual. To understand the other chapters, you should know where only X is available. X. Only X is available. Discrete data. Discrete means what? Where X and F is available. Ungrouped data also we say. Right now, X is there, frequency is there. 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 They have applied all this in central tendency and all. You have done this. The third type, what they call is class. Right now, where you have certain class. In this, we can have two forms. Means there is a class, let's say 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. Here from where the sum comes generally in the exam. 30 to 40, this is the area. 40 to 50 where you should concentrate. 5, 10, 15, let's say 5, 3, something like this. Class is given, frequency is given. When we move to the, when we present the data in this form, whenever the data is huge, okay, if it is very less, we will use individual form. Individual form. I've made a spelling mistake. Individual form. Okay. Individual data. Or we call discrete data. Or we call class. Means what? Grouped data. This is called grouped data. Class. Okay. So when the number increases, it's too much to present. Okay. You can't write like 100 students ka data is there. How much they have scored in the exam. You can't use individual. 100 marks paper, 100 students, you will make class. 0 to 10 marks, this many students. Okay, 10 to 20, this many students, like that. So data is huge now. 100 marks paper and 100 students are there. You can't list it down in individual form or in discrete form. Discrete also, if you try to make like 100 students are there, someone might have got 1, some people might have got 2, some people might have got 3, some people might have got 4, some people might have got 5, something like this. Understood? Till 100 marks paper is there. Went off 1 minute. I am saying that it's a 100 marks paper. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 100 marks paper you will have to write 100 times. You can't do it. At that time what? You will use grouped data. Class form. Easy? Understood? Now here what happens in this. Listen carefully what I am saying. This is the important part. You will get questions from here. 1 to 9. 10 to 19. 20 to 29. Understood? 30 to 39. This 1, this is called lower class limit. Understood? Please understand. It is not, when it is not continuous now, this is not continuous. 1 to 9, then 10 to 19. But problem of writing the class in this form is that if something comes as 9.5, where you will take? It will neither be in 1 to 9, neither it will be in 10 to 19. So then there will be a problem. So always in statistics, whenever you are doing any of the analysis, the data needs to be in continuous form. Okay. So continuous form, how you will make a continuous? So like I said, this 1 is called lower class limit. 10 will be called lower class limit. This 20 will be called lower class limit. This is called upper class limit. Limit is the word what I am using. 19 is UCL, upper class limit. Understood? So if I want to make it continuous, what is the gap between the class? The gap between the class is 1. 9 to 10 means gap is 1. 19, 20, the gap is 1. So what I do is I divide that 1 between the two classes. So it is 0.5. Okay, so it is 0.5. Understood? So what I do? See what I am saying. 1 minus 1 divided by 2. Correct? So it becomes 0.5. Then upper limit 9 plus 1 divided by 2. Why I took 1? Because the gap here was 1. The gap between these two things is 1. The gap between these two things is 1. So I am distributing among the two classes. So here it will be 9.5. Next is 10. Minus 1 divided by 2 is what? 9.5. Here it is 19 plus 1 divided by 2 becomes what? 19.5. So if you keep on doing this, what happens is your first class is what? Your first class is this class will be represented at 0.5 to 9.5. Second class starts from 9.5 to 19.5. Understand? So it has become what now? It has become continuous. Understood? So whatever is the gap, divided by 2. From the lower one minus, from in the upper one add. You can make a formula for this. 1 was what? lower class limit minus difference upon 2. What you get? This is called lower class boundary. When the class is continuous, it is not called lower class limit. In I remember in, I don't know whether they have corrected this or not, but somewhere now means loosely they say that this is LCL. Wrong. Any of the stats book if you open, whenever the class is continuous, it is called boundary. It is not called limit. Limit when the class is not continuous. You pick some good author, okay, some reference books, you will find this. This is not lower class limit. It is called lower class boundary. Whenever the class is continuous, this is called what? Upper class boundary. So lower class boundary, lower class limit minus d by 2. I can make a formula. Upper class boundary, upper class limit plus d by 2. What is the sense in making the formula? Take the gap, divide it by 2. So be careful about this. Why I am focusing more on this? I know you can do. Some people might be feeling, Arey, why is stressing so much on this? But I know that here the people make a mistake. In hurry, you will think, in a haste, you will think, acha, arey, so simple question. You will mark something wrong and you will come. Be careful. Next is, whenever you are calculating class mark or midpoint, here you will have to be careful. Class mark or midpoint. See why I am saying, because you should always, why I said always you should have the class continuous, because here if I apply this now, class mark, how you do? Lower class limit plus upper class limit upon 2. So 1 plus 9 upon 2, 1 plus 9 upon 2, I took the limits. 1 plus 9 upon 2 is what? 10, 10 by 2 is 5. But if you take this now, what is the answer? 0.5 plus 9.5 upon 2, answer is what? 5. Same. Understood? There is no difference. So if you check the book, these two things are equal, means lower class limit plus upper class limit upon 2, as well as lower class boundary plus upper class boundary upon 2 will also be what? Same. This will come in the exam. So, but whenever you are doing analysis, the class needs to be what? Continuous. It's very easy. Understood? It's very easy to analyze the things. So class needs to be continuous. What is the reason why the class needs to be continuous? We know where 9.8 will come. 9.8 will come in this class. 9.8 will come in this class. I know that because 9.5 ke upar ka everything will comes in that class. Understood? Upper one. 9.8. But if I here if I tell you now where the 9.8 will come, you have no answer for that. Correct? Whenever you are calculating the width, now while calculating the width means what is the class interval, width or class interval, how much is the gap, class interval. Recall, okay, 1 and 9 was the lower limit and upper limit. So upper limit minus lower limit, 9 minus 1, class limit is 8. Okay, the class interval we will get is 8. But if you take the boundaries now, 9.5 minus 0.5, 9.5 minus 0.5, here class was what? Class boundaries were what? 9.5 and 0.5. So the interval is how much? 9. So see the gap. Means you can't apply this. In midpoint you can take anything, either limit or boundary. Okay, plus upon 2, answer will be same. But in width you have to take what? The boundaries. So the formula is what? Upper class boundary minus lower class boundary will give you the width, the class interval. Okay, that is one thing. Sometimes they ask you the density of the class. Okay, density of the class. Like, let me give you one example. Let's say here is a class. So I'm taking continuous class 0 to 10, 10 to 20, to make it easy, 20 to 30, 30 to 40, something like this. Here there is frequency 5, 2, no, 5, 8, let's say 10 and something 7, something like this. So if they ask you the frequency density, how much dense it is, frequency density. So frequency density is equals to frequency upon width of the class, frequency upon width of the class. Understood? What is the width here? How we calculate the width? Width is not upper class limit minus lower class limit, upper class boundary minus lower class boundary. Is it continuous? Yes. So these are the boundaries. These are what? Boundaries. 10 is upper class boundary, not limit. 10 minus 0, the width is 10. So frequency, so density here will be 5 upon 10. So answer is 0.5. 8 upon 10, again 20 minus 10, the width is 10. It may or may not be same. Understood? So be careful. It may or may not be same. 0.8. Why they are teaching us this out of the syllabus question? Why they are teaching us this? They are talking about this density. Why, you know? Because if you know the histogram, in histogram the class, the condition, one condition is that in histogram the class na interval needs to be same. The class interval needs to be same. So what I do is, on x axis I take the class 10, 20, 30, something like this. Here I take the frequencies, right? Now here I take the frequency and then I make histogram, something like this, correct? There is no gap in the histogram, right? Now something like this I make the histogram. But here though class is equal, na, class is equal. But if the class is not equal, like after 0 to 10 it is 10 to 30, that means this gap to will look something like this, something like this, not like this also. This will look something like this. 10 means here is one class, 10 to 20, something like this. So it will be very uneven. Means directly this class is not 10 to 20, 10 to 30 or 10 to 40 something, or 10 to 25. Means class intervals are not same. At that time, instead of frequency, you plot the density on the y-axis. That is the application. They will not dig into this much into this portion. Understood? But still we should know why they are teaching us. They are teaching us, means maths they are teaching, but this is the application. When the class is not equal, you can't make the histogram using the frequency. You will have to plot what? On the y-axis, the frequency density. So you know this, 10 upon 10 will be 1 density, 7 upon 10 will be 0.7, okay, density. What I did, I divided it by the frequency, the respective frequency with the class interval or width of the class, right? Next I recall, they ask you relative frequency, okay. So I'll have to take the total of this frequency, 5 plus 8, 13, 13 plus 10, 23, correct? Right now 8 plus 5, 13, 13 plus 10, 13 plus 10, 23, I am right. I am not using calculator. 13 plus 7 would be 23 plus 7 would be 30. What is the relative frequency? 5 by 30. You check on your end, okay. 5 divided by 30 is what? Relative frequency. Relative means what? Relation, na, percentage. In short, it is what? If I multiply 5, it is proportion, na. If you recall my lecture in maths, frequency, proportion, weights, probability, means everything means the same, only the form is different. Frequency, weights, proportion, probability, only the form is different, otherwise it is same. What I am doing? 5 divided by 30 is what? Decimal of percentage. Its proportion, that is called what? Relative frequency. 8 divided by 30, 10 divided by 30, 7 divided by 30 is what? Relative frequency. Understood? Easy. I think it's more than enough what we have done. Let's jump into the questions. Let's see what they are asking, okay? Because exam representative questions should be done, correct? This is what? See, X is defined. The following is the November 2018. The following is the frequency distribution. First thing, which type of data it is? Is it individual? Is it discrete? Or is it continuous? It is discrete, ungrouped data. When you can use ungrouped data? When the variables can't take the decimal form. Means X will be either 12, either 17, it can't be 12.5. At that time you will use discrete data. 24, 36, something like this. This is called what? Discrete distribution. This is called what? Discrete distribution. Understood? So answer is B, discrete distribution. Okay. It can't be continuous. You know cumulative means. Cumulative means I will go on adding 2. 2 plus 5 is 7. 7 plus 3 is 10. Correct? 10 plus 8 is 18. 18 plus 9 is 27. Something like this. That is cumulative. So this is also not the answer. Is it continuous? No. Okay, discrete is the answer. Histogram is determine in histogram, when we do the histogram now, what we do, like let's say this is the histogram, something like this, we know how to plot it. Okay, we do like this, and then what we do here is we join this, the highest one, this is the mode na, this is mode, correct, this is the means mode ka pillar, whichever is more, that gives us mode. Okay, from histogram we get the mode, and then we join this, whatever is the x value here, this is what, this is your mode, right? Very easy question. From histogram determine graphically the value of what, mode. Answer easy. How we get the median? We make cumulative frequency curve, less than or more than, and then we get median and all. Median, quartiles, all positional average we get from Ujjayi, we call na, Ujjayi, less than, more than. Okay, we will see if we get the question. Okay, but median we get from the cumulative frequency, Ujjayi. But from histogram we get the mode. Okay, data are said to be dashed if the investigator himself is responsible for the collection. I myself have collected the data, it is what, primary data. Understood? Primary data, it is primary data. Second data means what, someone else has done the research, I am using it. Okay, in that I think there are forms, there are types also, no? Correct, there are types also, types of primary data, correct. I think there were four types or methods of collecting the data, not types, but exactly we can call it methods. One was interview. In interview I think there was 3 types, correct. One is personal interview, indirect interview, third one is telephonic interview. In interviews we have, first type is interview, primary data. How you can collect interview? In interview you have, first is direct interview, correct now, second is indirect interview, and third is telephonic interview. Understood? Where the response would be more accurate, direct. Where the response would be less accurate, indirect. Less accurate means more or less accurate. Where the people will not entertain you, telephonic interview, they will not entertain you. Where the response is very less, it's telephonic. When you will do indirect, when the main source is not available, there is one major accident have taken place. Okay, so you can't ask the person who has met with an accident. So whoever was the observer, you will go to him. That is called what? Indirect interview. He has observed first-hand information, but he was not directly involved. Indirect interview method you will use. Last one is telephonic. Okay, telephonic means what? You will ask some questions on the telephone itself. You will take it as the least response. All these questions are what I am discussing now, they have been asked in the exam. So these are first method, interview. In method of collecting the primary source data is what? Interview method. Second is what? Mailed questionnaire. Second is mailed questionnaire. If the options you get now, which has the least response from the respondent between telephonic and mailed, you will say mailed. Why? Because you have mailed him, na? You have sent him through the post. Whether he will respond or he will not, it depends on him. Means you think na, if you call someone, there is less chance he will directly bang your call. Less chance. But if you mail na, you have to constantly keep the follow up. You have to tell them, respond. This is the least among these two, correct? But among this, it is telephonic as the least. You have to check the answer. You have to be very careful. Okay, what is the correct answer here? So primary source I am discussing, what I could recollect, that is what I am discussing. Here in interview method there is 3 methods. Next method is mailed questionnaire, right? And third one is observation method. Observation method means what? Personally you are collecting the data. Let's say you are collecting height of the students in the class. So personally it's by observation. I will take that measuring tape, I will measure each and every one height, or I will have weighing machine, I will note down each one. That is observation method. time consuming, tedious process. All this drawbacks of observation method. And the last one is again questionnaire, wherein you go to the respondent with the list of questions. You don't mail it and then you ask him one by one, you fill it. Okay, so this is questionnaire method. 1 2 3. Okay, coming back to the question, you can read this. If at all you feel that something we are lagging behind, then please let me know. Okay, means you should read it. If something you think that sir has not said and it is given in the book, then you should go and read it. We can't do the whole chapter, everything I can't cover in single lecture. A suitable graph for representing a portion of total into subpart in statistics is called what? A suitable graph, okay, for representing the portioning of, means bifurcations you want to show. Okay, that is what? Pie chart, pictograph, ogive, histogram. Histogram to gives us mode, so this is gone. Ogive gives us median, so that is gone. Pictograph means what, you know? I don't know whether you know this or not. If I want to show the birds now, I will make a circle, means out of the total proportion, I will show the bird. Like pictograph means I will show the bird here. Bird means bird picture I will put. That is called pictograph. Okay. Let me check if I have example on this. Okay. Let me check. See, this is the best example what I got through internet. See this example, pictograph. See, students at school level, school time we used to use this. They have given Monday 4, so 4 dots are there. Apple sold January 1, February 4. This is called pictograph. Understood? So pictograph is what? Instead of words now you use the picture of that. Okay, something like that. Number of literate children, see here. So I think yellow one is girl, yellow and pink is girl, green is also girl. So these are the boys here. This orange with green half pant, it is boys. Means how many in small town, how many literate children are there? Illiterate children are there. Okay, so they are showing it to the help of the picture. Okay, fine. Coming back, so this is pictograph. Here one more example I think is there. This is what? Sprinkle, pictograph. See, so they have shown you the pictures. Okay, yes. So the answer for this is pie chart, not the pictograph. Okay, it shows the portion into subtotal parts. So we divide this circle into various parts, right? Something like this. The number of, just for the information in between, how we calculate the degree of the pie chart, means the angle, how much angle. So let's say, like one example I am taking. Okay, so let's say if the example is given something like this, let's understand this. Let's say one question. Okay, let's say the sources of the income of the government from various taxes. Let's say custom is there, then excise is there. Okay, I'm trying to cover the more sums, okay, which can come in the exam. Income tax is there, wealth tax is there. Let's say there are 4 sources of income. Okay, and then they give you the revenue of the government in rupees, in millions or something like that. 120, 180, let's say 240, something like this. 180, okay, 240. Now if I want to make a pie diagram of this, or what they will ask, the central angle, okay, the central angle of the income tax, then what you have to do? You have to take the total of this, correct? 120, 180 plus 240 plus 180. 120, 180 plus 240, 120 plus 180 plus 240 plus 180. How much it is? 720. They are asking you the central angle of the income tax. So how you will calculate? Theta, that is, theta is equals to, angle is equals to 240. Theta is the central angle, divided by 240 upon what? 720 into 100. Okay, this will give you the angle of that income tax. If you want the wealth tax angle, then 180 divided by 720 into 100. 720 is what? Total. Okay, so what is the central angle? Central angle of income tax is 240 divided by 720. Okay, into 100. No, I made a mistake. Not into 100, it is into 360. Why 360? The angle of the circle is 360. Correct now? So 360 ones are, twos are, what 240 divided by 2 is 120, I think. So the central angle will be 120, right? As easy as that. One more thing, what they can ask, let's say this is of income tax, theta of income tax. Same way theta of wealth tax, it will be what? 180 divided by 720 into 360. So 360 ones are 360 twos are is 720. 180 divided by 2 is 90. They might ask you in the exam straightforward question like this, or they can ask the difference between the central angle of income tax and wealth tax. Difference between the central angle, so 120 minus 90, the central angle, the difference between the central angle is 30 degrees. Something like this question they will ask. Okay, why I did this type of question, it is there in exam only, this is asked. Okay, I don't know whether in recent exam or not we will get this or not, but this type of questions you have already done. So this is what the pie chart is. Okay, pie chart question can come. Number of times a particular items occur in the class interval is called what? Frequency. How many times a number comes is called what? Frequency, no? It's called frequency, right? Next. An ogive is a graphical representation. Ogive is a graphical representation of cumulative frequency distribution. What we plot on ogive? Cumulative frequency distribution, right? We go on plotting the cumulative frequency distribution. This is less than curve. If the curve comes like this, it is more than curve, right now? Correct? Ogive, this is more than ogive, this is more than ogive, right? This is less than ogive, correct? So it comes from what? Cumulative frequency distribution, right? Cumulative frequency between for the 20 and 30s, for 20 and 30, here you want the cumulative frequency. So here it is 4 plus 6 is 10, 10 plus 20 is 30. Answer is what? Answer is C. Easy. See the question, they are asking us cumulative. This is less than cumulative frequency, less than cumulative frequency. 4 plus 6 is 10, 10 plus 20 is 30, 30 plus 8 is 33, 38. What they are asking? Cumulative frequency of the class 20 and 30, it is how much? 30, it is 30. But if in case they ask you, if they ask you more than cumulative frequency, more than cumulative, it will be 41. Then don't minus 6, minus the first itself, 30 means 4, it will be 37. 37 minus 6 will be 31. Understood? Like this you have to get what? Cumulative, more than cumulative frequency. What I did, I took the total from this same line, whatever was the frequency, I deducted, so I got the next one. 37 minus same line frequency, I will deduct, I will get the next one, like that. 31 minus 20 will be 11, 11 minus 8 will be 3, this should match. Understood? It's like that, easy. Okay, so I covered one more question. It can be, they can ask you more than cumulative frequency also. See the next part. Which of the following graph is suitable for cumulative frequency? Okay, cumulative frequency distribution. Which of the following graph is suitable for cumulative? With cumulative, what you do? Ogive. It's not histogram. Next question. Histogram can be shown as what? Histogram can be shown as rectangle. Histogram can be shown as rectangle. It's not ellipse or hyperbola or circle. Histogram is what? Rectangle, na, in shape. Dash series is continuous. I missed something. Okay, so let me cover it here. You remember we took one example wherein we made this class as what? This class as continuous by deducting 0.5 from both the sides. That is 0 from 1 I deducted 0.5 in the upper class limit, I added 0.5, so it became continuous, right? Repetition. This is called lower class limit, this is called upper class limit. This is called lower class boundary, this is called upper class boundary, correct? If in this series, okay, this is there is also one more name. This class can be called as, this one is called as inclusive. Why it is called inclusive, you know, means when the class is not continuous, it is called inclusive. Why it is called inclusive? Because 1 as well as 9 both are what? Included in the first class. Because the next class is to 10 to 19, na? 1 minute, huh? That's some problem, yeah. but next class is 10 to 19. Next class is 10 to 19. But here if you check, the next class would be 9.5 to 19.5. Correct? Where the 9.5 will come? 9.5 will not come here. 9.5 will come in the next class. Okay, therefore it is called exclusive. Therefore it is called exclusive. Means the class which is continuous is called exclusive. The class which is not continuous is called inclusive. Okay. So dash series is continuous. Which one? Exclusive. 1 to 9, 10 to 19 or something like this. Means whether it is, means I'm just giving you an example. 19 to, let's say 29, or 20 to 29, and let's say here you have 30 to dash dash dash, means 30 and above I am writing. So this is called as open end class. Open end. Why? Because there is no upper limit. 30 and above means it can be 40, 50, whatever comes, it will come in this class. It is open end class. The open end can be here also. Below 9. Below 9 means what? You have to think. Understood? It can take any values. So it is called open end class. It can be one side open end, it can be both side open end. Okay, this is both side open end. See, both side it is open. It can be one sided also. Okay, in the here when you start it is below 9, but here you have certain value 30 to 39. So it's closed at the end. It can be open at the beginning, closed at the end, or it can be open at both the ends. Unequal call intervals. Unequal call intervals. I don't know what they are saying. These are Jabarastika, they have put one option. Unequal call interval. I think unequal class interval. There will be printing mistake. But say, okay. Anyways, the answer is what? Exclusive. Okay, so I covered. Whenever the classes is not continuous, it is called inclusive. When the class is continuous, it is called exclusive. If the class somewhere in the above or the lower class, if the interval is not defined, below or above what comes, it is open-end class. Okay, otherwise it is called close-end class. Ogive graph is used for finding what? Median. Ogive is used for what? Median. Histogram is used for find what? Mode. Simple. Graphical representation of cumulative frequency distribution. Ogive. The average of salary in factory is 47,000. The statement that the average salary is 47,000 is what? Is descriptive statistics, inferential, detailed, undetailed. It is called inferential statistics. It is called what? Inferential statistics. Inferential means to come to know that on an average, inferences are drawn that on an average the people have 47,000 statistics. Descriptive means everything given descriptively, same as detailed. Okay, same meaning detailed. Means this many persons have this much salary, this many persons have this much. That will be called as descriptive. Okay, inferential means what? You draw the conclusion, that is called inferential. Okay, statistics cannot deal with dash data. Statistics cannot deal with quantity. It can deal. It can't deal with qualitative data. Statistics cannot deal with qualitative data. If I say only men, you can't say anything. How much men you should know. Understood? Fine. Next, sweetness of a sweet dish is what? Is a quality. It's an attribute. Census report are used as a source of dash data. Census report now, which the government collects every year. Okay, in every 10 years. It is called what? When you use it, it's a primary data. When you use it, are used. See word used as a source of what? Secondary data. Understood? If you go to the collector office and give him some means the cost of the Xerox, they provide you with all these reports. Okay, we get it at the collector office. Okay, so if I am using for government, it's a primary data. For me, it will be secondary data because I have not collected. Types of cumulative frequencies are less than and more than. Two cumulative frequency now. Less than and more than we already discussed. You are an auditor of a firm and the firm earns. If I am going fast now, pause it, go slow, check it. Understood? Think about it. Any queries, please ask. You are an auditor of a firm and the firm earns 67,000. You stated to them that the annual profit is 67,000. This is dash type of statistics, inferential. Again the same question. Okay, same question, they have changed it. Okay, you are an auditor of the firm. The firm earns 67,000. You stated to them that the annual profit is 67. It is what? Inferential data. The dash are used usually when we want to examine the relationship between two variables. When two variables means whenever there is a tricky question, when you will go into the paper now, there is a chance you should mark it important and you should remember this. The dash are used usually when we want to examine the relationship between two variables. It is line chart. It is what? Line chart. It is line chart. Understood? It is not some people now to draw the inferences. If you are into the paper, then there is chance that you might click, means you might tick, not click, you might tick scatter plot to understand the relationship between two. Okay, two variables, because we have already done that also, right? Now scatter plot, but it is not. Line chart is the answer. Okay, let me show you the line chart. See, this is the example what I got on net for line chart. See, you can compare the things. Okay, when you have to examine the relationship between two things now. See, these are the four products. Yellow, I don't want to name it, and one is black, I think, one is something greenish, one is something red. You can see the yellow, the sales is more. Okay, so you can compare the things using what? Line chart. Okay, let's go to the next question. When the data are classified according to one criterion, then it is called dash classification. Qualitative, quantitative, or what? It's a simple classification. It is what? Simple classification. Then you get complex classification also, wherein too many columns you have, and inside that columns also sub columns you have. Okay, fine. So that is complex. So simple means when the data are classified into one criterion. Okay, then it is called simple classification. Obviously quantity, quality, both are important. Okay, to classify the data. If you only give the quantity, that is the numbers, you will not understand what those numbers resemble to. Okay, a bar chart is drawn for continuous data. No. For histogram, continuous data is necessary. Nominal data, no. Time series data, no. But the main reason is comparing the data, different components. At that time you make the bar chart. So from the bar itself you come to know means which is more and which is less. Okay, like that. Tabular presentation can be used for continuous series data, nominal data, time series data for a longer period, primary data. So tabular, I think answer is B, nominal data. So how the maths evolved, you know. So I'm sharing something. Okay, means how the measurements came in. If you have not done this nominal data, nominal means name generally. So initially what happened, the very interesting part. Initially what happened, when you have to classify something into categories, you generally call it by the name, na. Like I can say the animals living in water is called what? Aquatic. And I think which flies, they are called aerial. Okay, animals. So like that I can classify according to the names. So initially whenever data was analyzed, it was based on nominal. Okay, and then what happened, after nominal it came ordinal. This is given in the book, but this short form is not given in your in the module. Okay, core book, because generally I teach CFA, so they call it core book, but we call it module or study material. So the word is Neuer. Coming back, initially whenever data mathematicians studied, now they studied with reference to the nominal, means with the reference to a name. This much is this, this much is this, this much is this, like that. Then in maths ordinal came. Ordinal means what? A stage, these are the level of measurements. Okay, a stage came in where the things were ordered. The simple example, let us make it simple. In school or in your college you get the ranks, you know, the order. So when I give the order, first rank, second rank, you come to know, acha, first is better than the second, this student is better than the second. 10th rank, 9th rank, 9th is better than the 10th, means that student is doing better. That is ordinal. This is how we used to measure. Maths evolved like this. And then came in intervals. If you see your scale, there is interval now, 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter, 3 centimeter, thermometer, all this came in. And then came the ratios. Ratios what we calculate. Understood? So this is the level of measurement, how it evolved. Okay, Neuer we call Neuer. How I remember Neuer? Neuer means in French it is black. Nominal, then came ordinal, then came interval, then came ratios. So tabular presentation can be used for what? Nominal data, where the names are there na, for that. Names in the sense it is attribute in short. Okay, like that. A variable with a qualitative characteristic is called attribute. Simple. The accuracy and consistency of data can be classified, can be verified by. So accuracy and consistency can be verified by what? It can be verified by scrutiny. This is what is given, not internal checking or external checking, not double checking. Scrutiny is the exact word. Okay. From a histogram, one cannot compute the approximate value of what? Standard deviation. Now this is a ambiguous question. You will say, sir, from histogram to we get the mode, na? Correct. Others na are measures of central tendency. Means mode can be equals to median, can be equals to mean. Right? If you remember theoretical distribution, when it is normal distribution, means 50% here, 50% there. At that time, this is mode. This itself is what? Median. This itself is what? Mean. That central line. So what you can't find? Standard deviation, because it is second order of measure of what? Dispersion. Second order is what? Second order of calculation or maths which involve. Primary is what? First order is central tendency. Next order came, second order is your standard deviation, range and all those things. Dispersion we calculated. How much the data is dispersed. That can't be calculated by histogram. But mean, mode, median can be calculated. Mode is equals to mean, no? Is equals to median. It can happen. So odd man out is what? Standard deviation. You'll have to, ambiguous question I said. But histogram, exact what you get is mode. The left part of the table providing the description of the rows. Yes. The left part of the table, in table when you tabular representation. Correct. What it is called? The left part is called description, which provides is called what? Stub. This is called stub, no? The left part is called stub. This is called box head. What is in the head? This is called box head. Right. This whole is what? Body. Correct now? Like that. The mode can be obtained from histogram. Why I am thinking so? Most of the commonly used distribution is what? Bell shaped. You remember I said this. Most of the, I gave you example. The rush, early morning 6 o'clock, it is less. Slowly as the days goes, day progresses, 8 o'clock it is more in the metro, in the railway, and then what? Again at 12 o'clock it is low. Bell shaped curve. Everything follows bell shape, normal distribution. Therefore in stats we say everything follows what? Normal distribution. In a class, the students who get very less marks are very low. The student who gets more marks, average students, they are more. Who get extensive, means very nice, good marks, they are what? Very less. Normal distribution. U-shaped is something like this. U-shaped curve, something like this. Okay. J-shaped means something like this. Economics. Which curve? MC curve is J-shaped. MC curve, marginal cost curve. Which of the following is suitable for the graphical representation of, for a cumulative? Ogive. Again, their favorite question. See, ogive. Ogive is the answer. Sweetness of a sweet dish is what? Attribute. Repetition. Dash means separating items according to the similar categories. Okay, grouping them into various classes. We classify na. What we do? Classification means separating the items. That is classification. Classification means separating the items according to the similar characteristics, grouping them into various classes. And anyways, classify, analyze, interpret. Okay, that is the words na used in the definition. Okay, that is the words what is used in the definition. Go into the core book, into the module and check. In graphical representation of data, ideographs are also called as what? Are called pictograms. When we picture na, picture are also called ideographs. Pictograms already I showed you. Okay, graph that uses vertical bars to represent data is called, graph that uses vertical bars to represent data is called what? Bar graph. Okay, in a graphical representation of data, the largest numerical value is 4, the smallest is 25. Okay, if the class desired, very good question, class desired are 4, then which class interval is? What is the class interval? How we calculate the number of class intervals? Listen, largest value minus smallest value is range. Range should be divided by class width. Range should be divided by class width. What you get? Number of class. Number of class. So maximum value is what? Numerical value. The largest numerical value is 4 and smallest numerical value is 25. No, there is some mistake in this question. Let me check. This is 45. This is 45. The largest numerical value is 45 and the smallest is 25. So this is the dispersion. Largest minus smallest is what? Range. Range divided by what should be the class width? Class the desired, the classes, if classes desired are 4, then what is the class intervals? Okay, I know that I need 4 class. So what should be the class interval? Class width. So again what? Reshuffle. I don't know the class width. So 45 minus 25. Sorry. 25 is what? 45 minus 25 is 20. 20 upon 4. Answer is 5. Means the class interval needs to be 5. So this is the answer. Okay. Easy. So I repeat this question. The largest minus smallest, okay, upon class width is equals to number of class. So how many class you have to make? You have to make 4 classes. So 20 is the highest minus smallest ka difference. So 20 by 4. 4 classes you will have to make. Okay, like that. Okay. So this is the question. Either they will ask you class width or they will ask you number of class in the exam. The frequency distribution of the class interval. The frequency density of the class interval is the ratio of what? Frequency upon class width. Correct. Frequency of that class to the corresponding class length. D is the answer. Right. Next. There are 200 employees in an office in which 150 were married. Okay. Total male employees were 160. Okay. So there are 200 employees, out of which first you should write male employees. Male is how much? 160. Female is how much? 200 minus this 40. Correct. Balance. See, this is the advantage of table. Okay, this is a table in short. I am making a table. So I get the hidden figures. 40 I came to know. Out of 200, 160 is male, means 40 is what? Female. There are 200 employees in an office in which 150 are married. If you take married, unmarried, then too it is okay. But still, I took male, female. Total male employees were 160, out of which 120 are married. Means unmarried male are how much? How many? 120 are married, means 40 are unmarried. Correct? Now out of 160, 120 is married, means 40 are unmarried. What was the number of female unmarried employees? Okay. So see, married is 150, no? Married total is 150. Out of that 120 is male. That means 30 is what? Female married. You understand? This is 150 given. Correct? So what they are asking? Unmarried female. Unmarried female is how much? So out of 40, 30 is married, means unmarried female is 10. So answer is what? D. Easy. Understood? You will have to make this table. Pause it. See it. What I have written. You will get the figures. Okay. In a study about male and female of commerce and science department of a college in 5 years, the following data were obtained. Okay, what is the data obtained? In 1995, 70% female students, that means 30% male. 2000, 75% female, that means 25% male. 65% rate commerce. So I will assume total number of students is how much? 3000. Okay, so what they are asking? After combining the data of 95 and 2000, if X denote the ratio of the female commerce students to the female science students, Y denote the ratio of male commerce student to male science student, then they are asking us the relation, okay, between X and Y. So obviously what we will have to do, we will have to calculate the figures, okay, and then we will have to do this. Okay, so 1995 male female. So I'm calculating this. See what is given. 70% is female student. Total number of student is 3000 into 70%. 2100 is female. Okay, that means out of 3000, 2100 is female, means 900 is male. 65% read commerce. Okay, 65% of the 3000 means of this, means if I want to make commerce, so out of 3000 commerce is how much? 65% is commerce, and 20% is what? 65% commerce, means commerce and science, I think. Okay, commerce and science is 2 department. 3000 into 65% is 1950 is commerce. Okay, fine. What else is given? 20% of the male students read what? Science. To understand, so 3000 minus 1950, 1050 is total science student. Out of that, 20% of the male students read science. So out of this 20%, 20% of 900, 20% of 900, okay, 20% of 900 is what? 180. Okay, this is science, this is commerce. 180. Obviously 900 minus 180 will be 720 commerce male students. Commerce male students. Okay, what else is given? If X denote the ratio of female commerce student, female commerce, but I don't know na commerce student. Okay, but I know that. Understand, see, out of 750, out of 1750, this male and female is 720 is female. That means out of 1950, understand, 720 is commerce students, commerce male students, right? So if I minus 720, I will get commerce female students. It will be 1230. So here I can make the bifurcation, commerce science. One more time, see here, I know that male commerce students are 720, but total commerce student is 1950, right? So if we make a table, it would have been better, okay, here, instead of making, because the data is not that clear. Okay, so out of 1950, 720 is male, so remaining is what? Female. I can write it like this: 1230 here, 1230, 1230. So minus 2100, so remaining are what? Science 8, just female science student. Fine, now the table is complete. Same way you have to do for this thing also. What? Your 2000. Okay, in 2000, yes, total students were 3600. Out of that, male, female are 75%. So 3600 into 75% is 2700 female, right? Obviously minus 3600 male are 900. Okay, out of that science commerce, out of that science commerce. Okay, so 40% read science, 40% read science, means 3600. 40% read science, science is 40%. 3600 into 40% is how much? 1440, right? Minus 3600 is what? 2160 is what? Commerce. Okay, so 50% of the female students read commerce. 50% of the female students, okay, read commerce. 50% of the female students, they are saying. What is the total female students? Total is 2700. Out of that, 50% read commerce. So 2700 into 50%, 1350 is commerce. That means 1350 is science. Okay, what they are saying about the male students? 40% read science. To understand, see, I know the total science students, I know the female science students. So if I take the difference, male and female, I get what? Male science students. 1440 is total science students. Out of that, female is 1350. Okay, 1440 is total science students minus 1350 is science students. So I will get 90 science male students. Okay, so out of 900, 90 is male science students. That means 810 is what? Female, the commerce male student. What is the total they are saying? X denotes the ratio pause it, check it what I have done, how I have done. Understood? What I have done is I have written this separately, correct? And then you get the balancing figure, because one relation is given, they should give something, no? If they have given you this this means out of 3000, if they give you this commerce, then automatically you come to know that this many is science students. Out of that science, this many are male, means automatically if this many are males, automatically you come to know that this many are what? Commerce student, something like that. Okay, science student. The balance. X denotes what? The ratio of the female commerce student to the female science student. X is ratio of female commerce to female science. Female commerce is how much? After combining the data of the 95 and 2000, so female commerce in 95 is 1230. Check. Female commerce 1230. Female commerce 1350. I will add that, combining, plus 1350 upon ratio of what? Female science student. Science student is how much? 870, and here 1350, right? 870 and 1350. 870 plus 1350, right? Check the total. 1230 plus 1350, 2580. 870 plus 1350, ratio is what? 2220. Check the answer. 2580 plus 2220. Answer is 1.162 something I am getting. Same way, y is what? Y denotes the ratio of the male commerce to the male science student. Male commerce to the male science student. Okay. Y is equals to male science. Take the ratio. Male commerce to the male science. Male commerce to the male science. After combining. So male commerce is how much? 720 and 810. 720 plus 810 upon science 180 and 90. 180 science students in 95, in 2000 is 90. So 720 plus 810 total is how much? 1530 upon 180 plus 90, 270. Okay, check. 1530 divided by 270. Answer is what? 5.67. 5.67. So what we can see? X is less than Y. X is less than Y. C is the option. Okay, there is no other chance, or I don't think there is any means to calculate this. Okay, have to pause. If you have not understood, check how I have done, solve with me, then only you will understand how it is done. Can't sit. A national institute arranged its students' data in accordance with the different states. This arrangement of different states, geography, no? Different states, that is what? Geographical data. A student's marks in 5 subjects S1, S2, S3, S4, S5 is given. If you need to draw a pie chart to represent this marks, what will the central angle of the S3? Central angle of the S3. Central angle of the S3, 90 divided by the total. Total is what? Check the total. 86 plus 79 plus 90. 86 plus 79 plus 90 plus 88 plus 89. The total is 432. The total is what? 432. So divide by 432 multiplied by what? 360 degree. I have to divide this much proportion among what? 360. 360 is the circle ka angle. Okay. So 90 divided by 432 into 360 is equals to 74.99, means 75 degrees. Okay. Right. If in case they would have asked about S2, then 79 divided by 432 into 360. Why 360? Circle has an angle of 360. Ogive curve cannot be used to determine range, second order. Right now, mean, median, mode, they can be same. Again, ambiguous question, but range can't be. Okay. Right. I'm assuming in this question now that mean, median, mode is same. The range is odd man out. but while using ogive also na, actually na, we can take the highest and the lowest value, we can find. Okay, I don't know, there is some problem with the question, or it can be like ogive curve can be used to determine, then the answer would be median. Fine. So check your answer what is given in the, or in the, if in case you get, means you will not get the institute, but check the same question if it is there in your module, check the answer what they have given, mark it up. The following data relate to the marks of the group of students, okay, below 10. This below 10 means what? This is which type of frequency? We have done this, less than cumulative frequency. This is less than, this is not frequency, it is going on increasing, it is less than. How many students got more than 30 marks? How many students got more than 30 marks? It is very clear. What is the total number of students? 100. The total number of students is 100. This less than cumulative frequency, so the last number now should match with the total number of students, it's 100. How many students have got below 30? Below 30 means this much. How many students have got below 30? Below 30. Okay, below 30. Will be what? 65, right now. How many students have got below 30? It is 65, total number of students. So how many have got more than 30? 35. 100 minus 65. Understand? 65 students got less than 30, below 30. Okay, how much have got more than 30? This 35 students. Okay. The following data relate to the marks of the 48 students in statistics. Right? It is 56, 48, 48, 5, 43, 11, 10, 51, 36, 17, 28, 43, something like this, means data is given. What are the frequency density of the class interval between 30 to 39? So if you see that the numbers are 11 is also there, 5 is also there, don't calculate, keep on calculating all these things. Only put tally marks to these classes, 30 to 39, 40 to 49 and 50 to 59, because I have to calculate what? Frequency density, means frequency upon class width. Frequency upon class width. So I want frequency. So check whatever is 30 to 59 now, between that you take. 56 will come here, 10 will not come, 54 will come here, 38 will come here, 21 will not come, 43 will come here. Okay, 12 will not come, 22 will not come, 48 will come here, 51 will come here, 39 will come here, 26 will not come, 12 will not come, 17 will not come, 36 will come here, 19 will not come, 48 will come here, 36 will come here, 15 will not come, 33 will come here. Correct? Whenever it is 5, you should put it cross. Right now, fifth data, put a cross, so that make a bunch of 5. 30 will come here, therefore it is called inclusive now. 62 will not come, 57 will come here, 5 will not come, 17 will not come, 45 will come here, 46 will come here, 43 will come here, 55 will come here, we'll put here cross. 55 I have taken, 57 will come here, 43 will come here, 28 will not come, 32 will come here, 35 will come here, 54 will come here, next 16, 7, 27, 17, 16 will not come, 11 will not come, 43 will come here, 45 will come here, 46 will come here, 28, 45 will come here, right, in this. Correct? So here the frequency is what? Here the frequency is 8, here the frequency is 11, here the frequency is 7. Okay, I missed one. Here there is a 30 will come here. So here the frequency needs to be 9. Okay, frequency should be 9. Now check the frequency density. 9 divided by frequency density, 9 divided by not 9, 9 divided by 10, because 30 and 39 both are inclusive. So class interval is not 9, add 1, 30, count like this, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, understood? 10. So 11 by 10, 7 by 10, means 0.9, 1.1, 0.9, 1.1 and 0.7. I think B is the option. 0.9, right? 1.1 and here 0.7. No, but it is not matching. I think here there is some mistake is there. I think there is some problem with the question. This should be 0.1 and this should be 0.7. Question is wrong. Okay, question is wrong. It can't be. Actually, the B option is correct, but the sequence is not right. Okay, B is correct, but the sequence is not right. So I will mark it D. I'll make a correction. E option. Okay, 0.9. Our own option. 1.1, comma 0.7 is the right answer. Multiple axis line chart is considered when if there are more than one time series and unit variable are different. You should remember this. If there is more than one time series, now different time series given, okay, at that time you use multiple axis chart. This is your x axis, this is your y axis, and also you have one more axis. Okay, y dash you can call, thing like this, multiple axis. Less than ogive curve gives, less than ogive curve gives what? Median. It always gives us the median. If a data collected from census report, which type of data it is called? With the data is collected now from the census report. From census you are taking, not for census. From census, it is what? Secondary data. Okay. Fitness is an what? Attribute, because it's a quality. 3 times it's repeated. Which of the following is not a way of, next question, which of the following is not a way of presenting the data? Tabular is a form. Textual is also a way of presenting the data. Graphical is also there. Regression analysis is not. Answer is what? Regression analysis. Histogram can be drawn from, class can be drawn when the class intervals are equal. Okay, question is not clear. It can be drawn from class intervals are equal, when the class intervals are equal. If the class intervals are not equal, then you can't draw histogram. If you at all you have to draw, then you should use the frequency density to plot and not the frequencies. That is what I discussed. Which of the following does not form characteristics in dividing the data? Number of auditors. Which of the following does not form characteristics in dividing the data? Number of auditors, okay, fine. Number of files is okay. Number of files audited less than 5, less than 6, less than 10 is okay. Files less than, higher, more than, moderate than, higher than. This you can't use. Okay. Files less than means what? Higher than means what? This does not form characteristic. It is not clear. You can't divide the data. Less than means what? It should be defined now. Moderate means what? Higher means what? If the cumulative frequency are plotted on x-axis, then which type of, if cumulative frequency is plotted on x-axis here, okay, on x-axis, then which type of curve is formed? Okay, it's ogive. Whenever cumulative frequency is given, it is ogive. So it's ogive, whether it is on x-axis or y-axis. Which one is the research data? Next question. Which one is research data? So it's qualitative and quantitative. Okay, qualitative and quantitative. Discrete and continuous. Which one is research data? I don't know, you need to check this, what they have given. According to me, it is qualitative and quantitative. Let me check. So according to me, this is the answer, but what they have given is processed and unprocessed. Okay, you'll have to remember the wrong answers. Understood? Therefore, ICI, the papers now, they are not up to mark. Okay, according to me, this is the answer. Every data is what? Qualitative as well as quantitative. Understood? It should have some quality and quantitative. Processed and unprocessed is not given anywhere. But if you find something, let me know. The probability of the profitability of a blue chip company is shown by what? Everything is shown by what? Bell-shaped curve. Everything follows what? Normal curve, bell-shaped curve. Okay. So done. Ultimately, we are at end of the chapter. We have completed this. Okay. Thank you.